So good afternoon to everyone who was listening to the lecture of this particular session. Okay, so in the previous sessions we have discussed about the internet and an internet. So those who want to know about the www and the web browser, I request you people to go through the other two sessions which I have gone through with respect to the internet and intranet, so that it will be helpful for you people to understand the next particular sessions, www and a world web browser. So in this particular session, we discussed about www, the World Wide Web, and the web browsers. What are the web browsers which we have right now? And when they got into development, what are the different kinds of web browsers? We look at the things. So we look at the first and foremost, www. What is the meaning of? What is www? If I say is the World Wide Web. So the World Wide Web is the way of exchanging information between the computers on the internet. So as I told telling you people in the last two sessions, that internet and internets. So sharing of an information, sharing of the data, sharing of a knowledge, and all those things. How do I share the information? What is there is this supposed to be a way. I say it is I'm supposed to be connected with respect to the different LAN connectivity, internet protocol. I'm saying everything. But how do I send? The major is that through the web browser. In a web browser, we require something called as www. If people are more familiar with the things. If I want to search with respect to anything in a google.com, Google, we write www.google.com. That is where www comes into a picture. Www is nothing but it is the exchanging the information between the computers on the internet. If you want to communicate, that means I'm communicating. Internet, as I say, it is interconnected across the worldwide. More than 190 countries have been connected, but through computers, through an internet connectivity. The thing is that if you want to exchange through something called as a web, so that this is a world wide web. It is a network of pages, of images or text or sounds on an internet which can be viewed using a browser software. This is more important. Each and everything, whatever we do with respect to internet connectivity, we require one thing, which is a browser. So browser software, if you don't have a browser, we cannot able to communicate across a network. So we are supposed to have the browsers, each and every operating systems which come across, we say Windows, Mac, Unix, and all those things, have their own built-in, that's a third part application which will be there. So for an example, if I say Microsoft Windows, for them, they will be using an Internet Explorer. If I say Ubuntu, they will be having a Mozilla. Like if I say Macs, they have a Safari browser. Like this, we have supposed to have one particular browsers to access an internet. Before to connect to an internet, before to browser, we are supposed to have an internet connectivity. If you have an internet connectivity through an ISP provider, then I can connect this through a web browser, that through www. So what is an history of a www? What are the histories? It will be there. Okay, so we look into the histories of a www. 1989 to 1990, Tim Berners-Lee invents the World Wide Web at CERN. So that is where the first and foremost thing, the internet thing, which comes into a picture. So Tim Berners-Lee invents the World Wide Web at CERN, means transferring of text and graphic simultaneously. I can able to transfer the text part, that is ABCs, alphabetical things, and also the graphics simultaneously. Okay, there were a lot of previous attempts that have been done by Gopher, Weiss, Zando, etc. These are the people they are, but in the Berners-Lee invents the World Wide Web at CERN, so that they can able to transfer a text and also the graphic part simultaneously. Here, whenever we send an information, we say using a protocol called as client and server data transfer protocol. Client is the one who is sending an information. Server is the one which is receiving an information. Okay, or else client is the one who is requesting an information from a server. So I can say in a different manner. Client is the one who requests information. Server is the one serves or responds to the thing. So they use a one protocol which is nothing but data transfer protocol. Okay, when we are doing this data transfer protocol, they establish the communication language that is nothing but a common language of sharing of information on a computer. Okay, sharing of information on a computer. Okay, there is a certain structures, there are predefined structures which is there for web pages. This is how the thing. Client uses browser applications to send universal resource information via HTTP to the server requesting a web page. Suppose if I say www.google.com, the way we write it is URL, uniform resource locator. So it's sent via a HTTP request. We, in the upcoming session, we'll talk about URI, URL, HTTP. Okay, request to a web page. Web page constructs an HTML. Okay, it might be other markup language. We basically prefer to the HTML and consisting of text and graphics, sound plus embedded files. Okay, server or cache responds to the requested web page. If it able to found, it sends a request response back. Otherwise, it sends an error message that's whatever you requested, it is not available. Okay, the www components contains two components. One is a structural component, another one is a semantic component. We look into the things. Okay, the fundamental concepts of a World Wide Web, the hypertext concept. Okay, which contains links to the other text. The term was coined by Ted Nelson in around 1965. Okay, that is, I'm talking about only the text part, HTTP text part, which we are saying. It is in the Ted Nelson in the 1965. Hypermedia concept is a term used by hypertext, which is not constrained to be text. It will include graphics as well as a sound as well as a video. So as I told you, can be sent simultaneously, text and a graphics. The graphics, if I say, it can be video or it can be a sound or it can be an image. Okay. So what basically is the web browser? I'm talking about a web browser, What is the meaning of a web browser? It's commonly referred as a browser. It is a software, application software for retrieving, presenting, and transforming the information resource on the World Wide Web. So suppose if you want to share an information, retrieve information, or present my information, we require a browser. Through the browser itself, I can able to send. That is the meaning of a web browser. So what is the functions of a web browser? The primary purpose of a web browser is to bring the information resource to the user, allow them to view the information and also access the information. That means you are getting an information, view the information, access the information. That means I request to the server to send an information, the information sent, viewing a thing, and I can access it. This process begins with an user inputs. That's, I already told you, that's URL, uniform resource locator. Look at here, HTTP example, which are written http://www.wikipedia.org into the browser. If I write this and press an enter button, it looks for the server which can able to respond for wikipedia.org. ORG represent organization. Okay. So we have a different types of a web browser: Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Safari, Opera, Mozilla Firefox, and many more. We have nowadays we have many more web browsers. Each and every organization has come up with their own web browsers so that they can use only for the particular organizations. Okay, so really cool thing. Google Chrome was developed by the Google. So the engine they're using WebKit. The languages, they have 50 languages. They can support themes written in C and C++, and with the JavaScript. So this is the logo of that particular Google Chrome. Mozilla Firefox is developed by Mozilla Corporation, written using a C, C++, CSS, and JavaScript. Engine is Jacob. Languages, it supports 75 languages, themes, and a download manager. Opera is developed by Opera Softwares, written in C++. Engine is Presto. Languages support is Spotify, the Speed Dial, and Opera Link. Internet Explorer is the one which comes up with a Microsoft Windows operating system developed by Microsoft. Language support is 33. Search suggestions, smart address bars will be there. Safari, which is developed by basically the Apple members. The engine is WebKit, written in C++, pop-up blocking, text search, spell checking, disable the images. These are the functionalities available. So in some of these are some of the references which I used. Okay, these are some of the references which I used over here. Okay, thank you.